haven't said anything yet, please. Okay. Hey, they got me on a timer. Thank you. I was going to tell you, actually what I was going to say is I was going to ask all the beautiful people to stand up, but y'all already did. And I thought that's the only way I could get a standing ovation. So I don't see my presentation, so we're really, oh, here it is now, no longer in trouble. So first of all, thank you. This is a great city, many great people in this city. A lot of people know that this school district raised me, and the city and the Parks and Recreation raised me. And so I'm very proud to be from this community. I'm very proud to be from Oak Cliff. So anyway, thank you, and honor goes to you for being here. And also, I always talk about them, but they're never here. But I want to thank my wife and my 3 sons, if they'll please stand and be recognized for putting up with me for all. And please don't sit by Taylor, because he'll finish every one of my lines. So it's kind of embarrassing. So first of all, somebody said, how have you been a superintendent for 27 years and 13 in Dallas? And I said, you know, I said, how do you sleep at night? And I said, well, you know, I sleep like a baby. I wake up every 4 hours crying. And then I hit the bottle, and I go back to sleep. No, this clear liquid. So it's been quite a journey. And when I met my lovely wife, we were in Grand Prairie, and I've dragged her all over the state. And I even dragged her to Georgia. And when the board blessed me and asked me to come back, my wife and I went out and celebrated. And we were having a long conversation, and I asked her, babe, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think we'd be living this kind of life? And she said, babe, I hate to tell you, you're not in my wildest dreams. That's why I can't retire. I got to do something. She said the house is not big enough for the both of us. Okay, so I better get started, because I'm on a timer. I remember 1.0, it was a cold, rainy morning in December, and the board got together, and we wanted to have a little clarity. Our mission was too long. Your mission is your purpose. And so we got it down to 6 words or less: educating all students for success. And so that is still our purpose. Our vision was to seek to be a premier urban district. And people laughed at us. This is why they laughed at us. In the 1990s, we had 5 superintendents in 5 years, and 1 went to federal prison. And then Dr. Moses came in, and he made the job doable for 3.5 years. And then he left. And then when I came in, we struggled early on with some issues, but we got some momentum going, and it was going pretty good. But one of our legislators, I'm not going to say her name, but her initials are, oh no, my wife said I can't say them. I can't do that. They would file a bill every session to break Dallas up into 5 districts, because it was too big to manage. During 1.0, we had this plan of Dallas becoming this premier urban district. We had the Road to Broad. The Broad Foundation honored the best urban district in the country. 10 years ago, the Broad came up. They couldn't find any good urban districts. 5 years ago, you asked the question, there were 2 urban districts that were great. Miami-Dade County. They have Key Biscayne. They have all of those other areas, South Beach, and Denver. Denver also is a county district. It's like if we had Highland Park, and we had Coppell, and we had, well, we don't need them. We're all right. We're good. And then 5 years ago, that narrative changed too, because one of those fell off. But the thing that all 3 of these have in common, Alberto Carvalho was the superintendent in Miami from 08 to 21. Denver had Secretary Bennett for 5 years, Tom Boasberg for 10 years, and then Susana Cordova. So when you have stability in leadership, you can finally get some things done. So now we're in that conversation. Dallas is there with Miami. So, but I'm going to try to convince you in the next 20 minutes that Dallas ISD is going to be the main pipeline for the workforce, and we will become the chief economic, mobility, institution. And we're only fortunate to be here thanks to Diana Flores, Joe May, and the outstanding Dallas College that has really been our partner in a lot of this journey. So it's been quite amazing. Let's give them a huge round of applause. I think at the end of this, you're going to see that it's all about partners and relationships. Strategic planning, rest in peace. I learned that from Tom Peters way back in the 1990s. A strategic plan is a 5-year plan. How many of you know where you're going to be 5 years from now? How many of you 5 years ago knew we were going to have pandemic 1.0, a tornado, pandemic 2.0, a snowmageddon pandemic? None of those were on my calendar, much less my strategic plan. However, we do believe in strategic initiatives and strategic thinking. The difference is when I went to Georgia, I went to University of Georgia Business School for an opportunity to learn, and they taught us that strategic thinking is 18 months. And every quarter you pierce the next quarter. So things that you didn't know, now you can see, you know what you're going to be doing personally and professionally in 18 months. Now, these things that are now our strategic initiatives, some of them weren't even around 5 years ago. They weren't even around 3 years ago. So that's how you learn to innovate. And I tell my staff all the time, incrementalism is innovation's worst enemy. That's one of the Hinojosa-isms that I've learned to live by. Dallas ISD has great schools. Dallas ISD has great schools, great neighborhood schools. And yeah, it got quiet in here. And I know that because all 3 of my sons went to Dallas ISD schools. And I went to Dallas ISD schools. So we got to have some skin in the game. We have some great neighborhood schools. Our magnet schools are the best in the country, have been forever. And now we've got new types of schools. What we want you to do, we want you to pick your neighborhood school. But if you don't, we don't want you to pick a home school, private school, charter school, no school, fool, you got to go to school. So we're going to give you options. But let me also tell a sad reality. And these principals know because a lot of people come window shop. And they walk in and they look at our kids and they don't enroll. We don't apologize for our demographics. We're 94% ethnic minority, 72% Latino, 21% African American, 47% English learners. We have 71,000 English learners. We have more English learners than El Paso has students, than San Antonio has students, than San Francisco has students, than Frisco has students. And we're proud of all of our kids, and we make sure that our kids get the opportunity. But if you can't get beyond race and class, you won't give us a chance. And that's the sad reality. And this is still the tale of two cities. You fly into this big, beautiful city in this big, beautiful hotel, and yet we have a lot of people that are underserved. And I'm going to argue that the next 10 years, that's going to be over. We had this epiphany that our students that are in advanced placement, international baccalaureate, they're going to college in spite of us. Either they have agency, their parents have agency, or their teacher has agency that can get them across the finish line. Most of you are those students right there. We have international baccalaureate at Woodrow, Hillcrest, coming to Adamson, and now at Paul Quinn College. You have IB at Paul Quinn College, and Dr. Sorrells just told all these kids that have enrolled in his school, a public middle school that's going to become a high school, they have automatic admission to Paul Quinn when they graduate from that. That gave me chills when he told them that. All right, let's keep going. So we also bumped into this other thing. And here's the story of Dallas College helping us. I'm embarrassed to tell you that in 2009, only 7% of our kids got any kind of post-secondary credential 6 years after high school. This past year in 2020, we had 628 kids, 72% of the kids that were in the program finished with their associate's degree. This year, 910, 10% of our senior class walked across the stage with their associate's degree before. And I believe in accountability, but let me tell you something, Senator West. 33% of these kids that graduate with an associate's degree failed 8th grade STAR. That means they shouldn't have even been to 9th grade. And 4 years later, they have a degree. Let's hear the story.
P-TECH is definitely one of those things that could be for some the most grounding thing in their life. I know for me it definitely was. You're trying to figure out which way's up, but then you get to P-TECH and it was so simple to just go ahead and sit here and say, I'm going to do it.
I decided to enroll in the early college program because it allowed me to get 2 years of college at the same time as I was doing 4 years of high school. So I figured, why not get ahead in life?
I had been a straight A student my entire life. In 8th grade, I was going through a lot of difficult times at that time. My mother and father went through a 12-year custody battle. During that time, we were experiencing a lot of chronic homelessness. I actually enrolled in Sam Tasby under a different alias, so my father wouldn't find us. I told them my story, I told them my journey, and I told them that I'm ready to put my full foot forward into this program.
So when I first heard about the P-TECH program, it caught my attention because I was able to graduate with my high school diploma and my associate's degree at the same time.
What do you want to be doing when you walk across the stage and get your high school diploma? Do you want to be continuing on to college? Do you want to be starting a job that's already paying you $60,000, $70,000 a year?
As soon as I graduate, I get a much higher than average starting pay. Buying my dream car of 8 years at the age of 19. Purchasing a home at the age of 20. Just all around investing in my future.
So my position right now is an IT web developer in American Airlines. My parents have been through a lot for me to get through this process. So it's not only for me, but for them as well.
You guys have no idea how actually impactful it was. And when it comes to my family, I'm now this source of pride that you guys have turned me into. And it's amazing.
And I am shocked. I am shocked, Justin, how many people don't know about P-TECH. How many people don't know about P-TECH? And these are our partners. We have some tremendous partners with P-TECH, and they're amazing. We've lost one, and we have 90 in P-TECH, and then we have another 90 in another program I'm about to tell you about. And this is the kind of jobs they do in the summer now. These are the internships that they get, and look at the kind of jobs that they're having. And that Latina girl that was the last one to speak, she worked at American Airlines, and she solved a huge problem for them in American Airlines. She's 18 years old, and she's trilingual. They had a problem in the Dominican Republic. She speaks English, Spanish, and code. So they hired her. She's making $58,000 a year with 401k and free flights all over the world. That's why we're going to change this community. Look how many kids got hired out of P-TECH this past year. That's just the beginning. Parkland, thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner Price. Hiring our babies, brother. Look at that. Encore. Thomson & Reuters hired 40. The only complaint we got about P-TECH is that you can only take 125 kids per grade per school. And we have, every high school except Woodrow has P-TECH. The only complaint was from the kids that we didn't get in. What about us? So this is what we came up with the Career Institutes. This wasn't a gleam in our eye 5 years ago. Listen to this story.
Yes, sir, I can hear you now. All right, I'm gonna go over a little material. We're gonna have a test. Today is Tuesday. I am the Plumbing Technology 1 instructor. I also teach principles of construction. You know, when I was young, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do other than play sports. Once those days were over, I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. Did I want to teach? Did I want to coach? I really wish I had an opportunity to do something like this, or to at least see something like this.
Put your nose down because you're high. You want to be around like 1,200 feet.
When I was younger, I didn't have this kind of opportunity here in high school. If I had that opportunity, you know, I would save a lot of money. I would be ahead. We are partnered with AOPA, that stands for Aircraft Owners Pilots Association.
We try to give them the basic skills to be able to work and obtain a plumbing license.
The flight training is really expensive, but this program allows students to get scholarships and to get flight time here in high school.
Even if you don't end up working in that industry, you're going to learn something about working with tools.
The Career Institute is going to set the standard for many schools. There's a lot of opportunity as far as scholarship-wise and employment-wise. Once they're out of high school, they'll be almost done with their flight training.
I'm excited about getting my drone pilot license, get into college faster, and a way better process. I'm also looking forward to getting my FAA certification.
Working with tools makes me feel really confident. I know what I'm doing and I have the proper training that my teacher gave me. And that's an awesome environment. It's gonna help you in your future.
This is a great opportunity for any and everyone.
Here's the hockey stick chart. Right now, we have freshmen, sophomores, and juniors all over town getting these opportunities. By 2024, we'll have 37% of our kids, over 3,000 kids, getting these certificates that'll give them a job making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year. If you're a freshman in Dallas and you're not in P-Tech or advanced placement, you have to take either principles of technology or principles of construction. And we'll put you in the path, and here's who's gonna, these are our industry partners over here. Look, HKS, the home of Jerry World. Yeah, they're training our kids how to create another Jerry World. More and more. City of Dallas, they need these people in these industries. We're an industry partner as well. Well, let's now talk about something nobody wants to talk about after legislation, Senator. Okay. Representative Turner, I don't think he voted for it either. Everybody's for diversity, equity, and inclusion until you get a lot of noise. This board was unanimous in passing our policy, and they stuck to it. And they don't apologize. We don't apologize. And that law went into effect. We told the board, we trained us on cultural competence. Then the law came in, and the board said, you better hurry, fool. We had to train everybody by September 1 before the law went, because, you know, I know how to stay out of trouble with the law. So, some people want to talk about equity, but we do equity. Some people a person wants to be principal, but he doesn't want to do principal. Somebody wants to be superintendent, but they don't want to do superintendent. Some people believe in equity until somebody says, boo. Not us. Not us. Look at that. Dual language, early learning, ACE, all of that. And while we're still behind, our African-American students are made greater gains than the state, and so have our English learners. Let's hear a little story about that.
Year after year, we've seen our African-American students not performing at the same level as their peers.
It's very crucial that we close those reading gaps. Our department provides reading intervention for students that are at a disadvantage with reading.
We want to target 4th and 5th grade students, because before you get to middle school, where things really start to change, then we want to ensure that you have a firm foundation in reading.
Not being able to read on your grade level, that can kind of diminish your self-confidence, your self-worth. And so our job is to equip them so that they can feel confident.
I feel more prepared in class because sometimes my teacher, she picks me to read out loud.
Every day, as a student, I know that I'm going to receive someone who believes in me, culturally relevant literature. I know that I'm going to have some friends, and we're all going to learn together.
The reason I like to read to the person I read to is because when I get done, they actually say, oh, I'm proud of you, or you did so good. It makes me feel good because, like, it's telling me that I'm a good reader.
Equity means I'm going to intentionally diagnose what your needs are and prescribe the remedy for you.
We are empowering students to be able to thrive. And so with that, I'm driven every day knowing that I'm giving it my all and pouring into the future.
We got a long, long way to go. And yeah, this is my last time, but the board and the staff believe in this, and we're going to keep it going. Early learning, we got so much data that shows that if The kids that go to our pre-K are 2 grade levels ahead of those who don't. We're actually even starting a different one called Start Strong Dallas, Project Legacy 2050. You know, I'm going to embarrass my family right now. My son, I was a 21-year-old dad. Alex was my son, and that marriage didn't work out, but we both loved him, and he actually has a higher IQ than my other 2 boys. But I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But he graduated from Texas Tech in 3 years. And then I was making fun of my wife because she was reading to those other 2 clowns before they were born. They just went to Harvard and Princeton. She's laughing at me now. So read, talk, and play. And how many of our 0 to 3 kids get to read, talk, and play at home? That's coming next. Well, Dallas is making some noise, and it's because we got great leaders. These are our principals that have been designated master principals. Look at the beautiful diversity. We got all colors, sizes, shapes. That's the way we are. We are diverse. And HEB has given us $8 million to do a leadership pipeline. So stay tuned. We're just starting that one, but stay tuned. HEB is helping us out. The debate over TEI paying teachers is over. Our teacher compensation went from 53 to 63. We're keeping 95% of the best teachers, and we got teachers going to toughest schools. We got one teacher going to make $131,000 this year. We got 47 that are going to make over $100,000, and a quarter of our teachers are going to make over 70. My wife taught for 30 years, and the most she ever made was 60. And she took all the rest of mine, so don't feel sorry for her. Dual language, when I first got hired, we had 1,300 classrooms that had no certified teacher. We had to go to Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Spain to get teachers. Now we just got to go to Oak Cliff and Pleasant Grove because Dallas College is helping us grow our own. And the goal is not to be bilingual. The goal is to be biliterate. And if you're white, black, or 2nd or 3rd generation Latino and you don't speak Spanish, you can become, in our 2-way dual language courses, you can become, we even have them at 12 secondary campuses. I know I'm running out of time here, so. The pandemic has been tough, but our results are going to be better than other people. It's still not good. We've lost ground, so we took care of the health and access thanks to the county and the city and the AT&T and Spectrum and others to help us get access. But now the hard part of recovery and acceleration comes. And thanks to you, the voters, we got lots of money to build a lot of buildings. Everything you've seen so far that's been built is not even part of the 2020 bond. We have $1.4 billion in design right now. And let's look at some of these buildings. I've been a suburban superintendent 3 times. All the buildings in the burbs look like this. They didn't look like this when I was a kid, when I was a teacher, or during Hinojosa 1.0. But now look at them. Look at South Oak Cliff, state champions. You gave them, you know, it's like, I have high expectations. I expect everybody in this room that can do 50 push-ups. Well, some of y'all can, David. I don't know about the rest of them. But if you give me a year and you give you weight training and nutrition, I bet everybody can do 50 push-ups in a year. That's what happened to SOC. They finally got tools, and look what they did. One more story.
I was raised in Colombia, not that many opportunities. I became a medical doctor. What I did is use education to fulfill my dream. And when this school came to life, I said, oh my God, I can do both. I can have science and education in one building.
The Biomedical School at UT Southwestern is a new transformation school for Dallas ISD launching in August of 2022. The curriculum is all going to be aligned to biomedicine starting in pre-K at a school that's in the medical district of Dallas.
I just want them to be exposed through this curriculum to all the possibilities in biomedical science.
From the beginning, everyone that heard about this project thought it was incredible. It has definitely created a buzz. Science starts here.
The students in Dallas ISD now will have the opportunity to ask actual doctors, actual nurses, how they do what they do. What are the skills they need? And they will be able to practice those skills.
We know hands-on learning with kids is fun. Never underestimate the ability for a child's motivation and excitement to change their learning path.
We have to bring that passion for learning again into the students. This is the place where we're going to create the future critical thinkers.
Yes, we're opening a school on the campus of UT Southwestern, and they had more applicants than Dealey and Booker T. And this guy was a principal at Stevens Park. Before that, he was a surgeon in Columbia. So I'm not running off without we have a healthy fund balance. We have choices. We are creating a new narrative for urban education. You can be successful in urban education. Just give us a chance and come join this journey with us. And there are some great things that are going to stay together because we got a lot of, the difference between Hinojosa 1.0 and 2.0, in 1.0 they didn't believe we could succeed. And nobody tried to help us, not that much. Now this time, we got so much help. How can we fail? You saw the themes and the partners of everybody that we had. So I always close my speeches. Yes, thank you. In conclusion, he's finally going to finish. I always talk about three things when I close. Every time I close a speech, I talk about the past. Be proud of who you are. You are a set of your collective experiences. Everything you've learned and struggled through, you need to be proud of. I'm proud to be an immigrant. I'm proud to be from Oak Cliff. And I'm proud to have been in Dallas ISD most of my career. In the present, be present. Nothing great happens in the absence of enthusiasm. And then in the future, right now there's a lot of despair about the future. We had this pandemic. We got these cultural wars going on. We've got maybe a world war going on. But not me. You see, hopefully I've convinced you that we're going to finally take away of this myth, not a myth, the tale of two cities. When you see these kids being able to get those kind of incomes, they're going to be able to buy property. The only property that's cheap is in southern Dallas. And then they're going to be able to afford that $4 Starbucks. And then they can be able to, that 20-year-old kid bought a house. They're going to demand grocery stores in their communities, in all those areas. So why step away now? Really, I could do this for a couple more years, but I can't do it for 10 more years. Somebody else needs to pick it up. And you're going to listen to a 3-minute song so you know a little bit more. grandkids at Dallas ISD.